presentation of the American University of Sharjah, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Azim Numan, who is going to begin the presentation. Azim, I leave you the floor.
Thank you, Ms. Federica. Hello, everyone. My name is Hazem Numan, Student Recruitment Coordinator at the American University of Sharjah. My colleagues, Mr. Samir, Ms. Donna, and Ms. Dua. My colleagues will be available in the Q&A to answer any questions you have. Let's have a small introduction about the American University of Sharjah. I think I went to the end by... Okay, so first of all, AUS is located in the United Arab Emirates, which is in UAE. I'm sure you are familiar with Dubai, right? The city of Dubai. So we are very close to Dubai, depending on the traffic. It could be 15 minutes, 20 minutes, depending on the traffic. So AUS was established in 1997. It's a non-profit oriented organization and co-educational as well. And of course, we follow the American model of higher education. So all classes are conducted in English. English is the formal medium at AUS. Some facts and figures about the American University of Sharjah. Number one, for diversity. So we have the highest percentage of international students like yourselves than any university. And this is by Times Higher Education. We are ranked among the top 10 universities in the Arab world for the last 5 consecutive years. And this is based on the QS university rankings. We are also ranked within the world's top 50 universities under 50 years of age, also based on QS. We have 88% graduate employability rate, which is one of the best rates worldwide. 66% of students are awarded scholarships and financial aids, and we will be talking about that during our presentation. We also have more than 100 nationalities for the student body, and we have student clubs, and we have 26 sports teams. This is some information of the Emirate of Sharjah, which is next to Dubai. This is where we are located. So Sultan bin Muhammad Al Qasimi is the ruler of the Emirate Sharjah and the president of AUS. Sharjah translates to rising sun. It means the rising sun. Sharjah is the 3rd largest and 3rd most populous city in the UAE, and it's conveniently located, as I mentioned earlier, between the Emirates of Dubai and Ajman. So it's like in the middle. It can be close to Dubai and it can be close to Ajman as well. Known as one of the Islamic world's cultural centers. Okay, this is very important. The very first thing you should look for when you search for a university is the accreditation. And there are different types of accreditation. We have, there is the local accreditation, there is the international accreditation, and you have the specialized accreditation. AUS has all types of these accreditations. We have the local accreditation in the United Arab Emirates and in the Middle East. And we have the international accreditation from the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. And we also have the specialized accreditation, AACSB for business, NAB for architecture, and ABET for engineering. Of course, the importance of accreditation is the following. If you have the local and international accreditation, so this means you can be accepted in another university when you transfer or when you do your master's. However, the specialized accreditation is very important to transfer most of your credits. So the transfer, when you do transfer, it's very important to have the specialized accreditation like AACSB, NAB, or ABET to be able to transfer most of your credits. We have students from more than 25 education systems. The average of students for the last fall was 93.7%. So this means we have very good students, and we are hoping to get more good students as yourselves. So these are some numbers, academic facts. Our total number of students will be around 6,200. between undergrad and grad. We have 28 undergraduate programs. We have 46 minors, which you can take with your bachelor degree. We have 16 master programs, and we have 2 PhD programs. And we are planning to have some more PhD programs in the future. As we mentioned earlier, we have around 106 nationalities. So the campus is very multicultural. Our faculty, they come from 49 different nationalities, and we have 358 full-time faculty members. So if you remember, we said that the number of students is around 6,000, and the full-time faculty members are 358. So if you do the math, this means that the professor to student ratio will be 1 to 15 approximately. And this is one of the best ratios worldwide. The lower the number of students you have in the class, the better. Why? Because you will have less students, which means focus will be more from both the professor and the student. So the overall education quality will be increased. Schools and colleges. Let me go through each college. If you have any question about specific majors, please mention the question in the Q&A, and my colleagues will be happy to assist you. We have the College of Architecture, Art and Design. We have the architecture major, which is the only 5-year program. All other majors are 4 years, including interior design, design management, multimedia design, visual communication. Architecture is the classic architecture. I'm sure you are aware of it. Interior design. Design management is a combination of marketing, advertising, and design. And multimedia design is graphics, 3Ds, and animations. Visual communication is like photography, directory, and you learn how to design advertisements. This is a link for the CAD tour. If you would like to have a virtual tour in the College of Architecture, Art and Design, please capture this link. I'm sure you will enjoy it. I'll just wait a few seconds so you can capture it.
Also, I will be sharing the link with them in the chat box.
Yes, thank you, Samir. The College of Arts and Sciences, we do have, as you can see, we have a wide variety of majors in this college. Biology, chemistry, environmental sciences, mathematics, physics, English language and literature, international studies, mass communication, which is journalism, basically, or marketing communication, and we do have psychology. We do not offer medicine at the American University of Sharjah, but biology and chemistry can serve you as a pre-med. So if you study biology or chemistry at AUS and then you want to study medicine abroad, you can do that if and only if you continue in an American system of medicine. So you have to, the university you go to complete medicine, it has to be American. Maybe some of you know that after you do the pre-med, which is 4 years, after that you can, there is some medicine exam that you have to do. And then after that you can do the medicine in the American university. I mean in another American university. The College of Engineering, Chemical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Computer Engineering, Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, Industrial Engineering, and Mechanical Engineering. My colleague, Mr. Samir, is an engineering graduate. So he would be the right person if you have any technical questions about one of these majors. Like if you want to have a general idea about the courses, any questions, any technical questions, Mr. Samir can help you. Myself and my colleague, Ms. Dua, we are business graduates from AUS. So we are the right people to ask when it comes to business majors. You can take one or two of the following: accounting, economics, finance, management, MIS, and marketing. Are we having questions, Samir, in the Q&A or not yet?
No, not yet.
Not yet, okay. The accelerated master's program, so this basically means that during This program provides undergraduate students with the opportunity to earn their bachelor and master's degree, saving both money and time and effort. So during your bachelor degree, you can start taking some of the master courses. So by the time you finish your bachelor degree, you already finished some of your master courses, and therefore you can do your master program within 1 year rather than 2 years. So it's a very cost-effective alternative. On-campus services, 3 words, you name it. We have everything you might need on campus, from residential halls to international exchange programs, student employment, counseling, writing center, bookstore, barber shop, health center, pharmacy, post office, travel office, laundry, restaurants and cafes, 2 mini marts. We have healthy food, we have junk food, we have Dunkin' Donuts, we have Starbucks. So at the end of the day, it's your choice. I personally prefer junk food, but you don't have to do that, of course. Okay, so the international exchange program. So this basically means that during your 3rd year, you can study abroad. The list of universities you see is just an example of the universities. So it's not exclusive, just some of them. You can study abroad for one or two semesters in some of the universities worldwide, and it could be your home country, by the way, if you want. So if you are living in Europe, or if you are living in any part of the world, and you study at AUS and you miss your parents, for example, then you can go back to your parents, study 1 or 2 semesters with them, and then come back, finish your graduation at AUS. This is also an option. And of course, we do have the transfer option. This is a different track. Transfer basically means that after your 2nd year, you study abroad, but you don't come back to AUS. You just continue abroad and finish graduation at any university abroad. And for that, there are no specific universities for that, because all what you need for the transfer is the international accreditation that we talked about. These are some statistics about the AUS library. The AUS library is very huge. It's a 3-story library building. I usually don't like libraries. I'm scared of them, but this one was an exception. It's a unique balance. It's very quiet. It's very good for studying, but at the same time, it has a friendly atmosphere. And trust me, not all libraries can provide that. So it's a very good, unique balance. Hopefully, when you visit our campus, you will be able to see it. So 460,000 print and electronic items. You can see the number of books and media items, e-books, more than 55 databases, self-checkout stations. So basically this means when you wanna borrow, for example, a book or something, you don't have to do it through a person. You can just do it through a system that will allow you to do so. And of course, we have service desks for research. If you have projects or assignments or tasks in your courses, you can do that as well. Again, these are just some of the services that our library provides. Sports and activities, the total number of student clubs is 93. We have 42 cultural clubs and 51 academic clubs. Total number of sports teams, 26. We have 15 for men's teams and 11 for women's teams. You can see the men's sports teams and the women's sports teams. You can see the different types of sports that we have: badminton, basketball, chess, cricket, karate, squash, swimming, taekwondo, soccer, tennis, volleyball, and so on. $15,637 proud AUS alumni. Myself, Dua, and Samir are 3 of these 15,000, and we are also proud of that. As we mentioned earlier, you can transfer anywhere worldwide, or you can do your master's anywhere worldwide due to the international accreditation, and the specialized accreditation that AUS has for all its majors. And this list is only just some of the examples where our graduates did their master degrees at. AUS itself, of course, Architectural Association in the UK, Columbia University, Concordia, Harvard University, McGill, MIT, and so on. The AUS Career Services, AUS Career Portal, Career Fairs, Career Counseling, Internships, Alumni Dinner. So basically, during your studies at AUS, AUS will help you to try to find a decent job after graduation. And the process for that starts during your studies for your bachelor degree, not after. Through career fairs, career counseling, and the career portal. And we do have the alumni dinner, which is like a social event for AUS alumni. These are some of the companies where our graduates work at: Microsoft, IBM, Google, Amar, Mashriq, Aramco, GM, Unilever, Chrysler. And I'm sure you are aware of the big four, because if I remember correctly, a wide majority of you is interested in the School of Business. So you can work in the big four, like Deloitte, KPMG, Ernst & Young. Admission requirements, I believe you are all coming from different educational systems all over the world. So it will be very difficult for me, unfortunately, to speak about each system individually due to time limitation, but I will be very general. So basically, right now, if you are in grade 12 and you are planning to join university in September 21, next year, you can start applying immediately online based on the previous 2 years. If you are in grade 11, so you can apply same time next year. So basically, if this is your last year of high school, you can start applying immediately for early admission. If it is the year before your last year, then you apply same time next year for early admission. So as I mentioned, the requirement will be different between IB diploma, Indian boards, Pakistani boards. Also, we have the American diploma. So let me say that we need basically an equivalent of 80% or 85%, depending on the major you choose, and also depending on your high school system. So for example, 80% in the Indian and Pakistani board is equivalent to 60%. So please, if you are not sure of your high school system and the requirements for that, please do ask in the Q&A, and my colleagues will be happy to assist you. So we can give accurate answers, because each system, as I mentioned, has different requirements. As for the TOEFL or IELTS, it will be the same for everyone, regardless of your high school system, whether it's from Europe, India, South America. We will ask for academic IELTS 6.5 or IBT TOEFL 80 points. One of them is enough. You don't have to do both TOEFL and IELTS, only TOEFL or IELTS. Again, I want to emphasize this. When it comes to admission requirement, please do ask in the Q&A, so you can know, because we said an equivalent of 80% or 85%. So if you want to know if your high school system, like if you want to know what's the equivalent of 80% in your high school system, please do ask. As I mentioned, if this is your last year of high school, this means you can start applying immediately for early admission. And this is the link that will take you directly to the online application. As you can see, we just started the early admission. The deadline is April 18th. I advise you not to go by the deadline because this is the deadline for the seats. There are many procedures that you need to do after acceptance as well. So the earlier you apply, the earlier you get admission, and the earlier you finish all procedures which come only after acceptance of eligible. So try to shift the whole process earlier. So like you know what to do and you know how to plan accordingly. Tuition fees are mentioned in UAE dirhams. Let me try to put them in US dollars. So tuition fees will be the same for all majors, and it will be around 26,000 US dollars per year. 26,000 US dollars per year. And these are the different room types. Of course, the price will depend on the room type: private room, semi-private room, sharing, and sharing room for new first-time students will have a special price for the first year. So if you are having a sharing room, it will have a very nice price for the first year. Scholarships and financial grants. The Chancellor's Scholars Awards, which is 75 to 100%. This is offered in the fall semester only, which is in September. So September from every year. It's very competitive. You need to have great academic performance and achievements in any other fields like social, sports, or any other field. Science field could be. The merit-based scholarship, after acceptance, if you have an equivalent of 90% or above, then you can be eligible for a merit scholarship, which is between 20 to 50%. Again, equivalent of 90% is not necessarily 90% in your high school system. So please, if you have any doubts, please ask us and we will let you know. Because for some systems, equivalent of 90% is 90%. For some systems, it's not, it's below. Financial grants, very simple condition for the financial grant to be able to apply for it and to be considered is to get accepted. So once you are accepted, you can apply for the financial grant. And the combination of like the financial grants and merit-based scholarship can be added together. The combination of both can reach up to 75%. And the financial grant category, it's very good to mention that the financial grant category will be also applied on the housing fees as well. Family tuitions grant basically means if you join university and then your brother or sister joins after you do, he or she will get additional 25%. Other types of scholarships, these types of scholarships come during your studies at AUS. So I'm sure you will have directions and guidelines about these scholarships after you join the university. Let's not confuse you now. Let's focus on the ones that you can get before you join. Sponsorship program. In the Gulf region, we do have many sponsored students, which means some government organizations, they pay for students to study at AUS. If you believe that you have such organizations in your country that are willing to pay for you or to pay AUS on your behalf, you can let us know and we will explore the possibility of that. How to apply for financial aid. Kindly note that students can now apply for a financial grant and family tuition grant online. Prior to creating a new application, students have to be connected to the AUS VPN. These are the two links that will mention the steps how to apply for financial grant. Generally speaking, applying for financial grant will come only after acceptance. So after acceptance, if eligible, you can start applying for financial aid. For the merit scholarship, you don't have to apply for it. After acceptance, we will let you know if you are eligible for merit scholarship or not. But for the financial aid, you have to apply for it as a separate application. You can book a meeting with us, whether me, Samir, or Dua. You can go to our website, book a meeting with us, and have a meeting with us and ask us any questions you have. So if you didn't have enough time to ask all your questions here, you can book a meeting with us and have 15, 20 minutes with us to talk about different concerns that you have. Samir, if you don't mind, can you please share the link of book a meeting with us, so students can have it also?
Yes, yes, sure.
Thank you. Okay, now we move to the graduate program, like the master courses and the PhD courses that we have at AUS. And my colleague, Ms. Donna, will be available in the Q&A session also to answer any questions you have about the master degrees. So we have 16 masters and 2 PhD programs. The classes for that, all classes will be evening, and we have thesis or non-thesis options. The graduate assistantship positions. Assistantship, basically, it's another terminology for financial aid. It's flipping by itself. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so the assistantship, it's basically another terminology for financial aid, but it's for the master and PhD degrees. So if you do teaching assistantship, which means you help the professor in certain tasks that are required from you, maybe you can get the assistantship. The percentage of that, of course, will be decided after you join and start your studies. So these are the majors that we have for masters. In College of Engineering, we have masters in biomedical engineering, chemical, civil, computer, construction management, engineering system management, which is very popular, mechatronics, and also mechanical engineering, and we do have PhD in engineering system management. For the College of Arts and Sciences, we have masters in translation, English, Arabic, English, and we have TESOL, teaching English as a foreign language. And we have masters in mathematics, and we have PhD in material science and engineering. In the College of Architecture, we do have masters in urban planning, and in the School of Business, we have MBA, which is Master of Business Administration. You can have concentrations in human resources and finance. And we have Master of Science in Accounting and Master of Science in Finance. So now we are accepting applications for the spring semester. So if you want to join in the spring semester, which starts in end of January, you can start applying now for that. And the first day of classes will be January 31st. The deadline for graduate assistantships, again, this is the other terminology for financial grant, but this is what we use for masters. The last date for that would be November 8th. And the application deadline for spring, which is January semester, will be December 24th. And of course, as we mentioned in the undergraduate degree, that you can also apply online. Thank you guys for paying attention. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And we are very glad to talk to you. And please let us know if you have any questions in the Q&A.
Thank you so much, Azim, for the presentation. I can see that we actually started to receive some questions, and I invite all the people connected to ask their question in the Q&A. So one of the questions they're asking us, where are the majority of the students from?
So as I mentioned before, we have 106 nationalities. So the campus is very multicultural, and you can't, like, there is no, you know, we have all nationalities, and they are divided like in a very good balance. So we can't say that we have a majority of students from a certain nationality.
Perfect. Yeah, please go ahead.
No, I'm just reading the other question. Scholarship for students from Europe, from Serbia. Thank you for that question. Actually, this is a very good question. It's very important to mention that our admission requirements will depend on the, as I mentioned earlier, will depend on the high school system. But our financial aids, our scholarships, they have nothing to do with nationalities. You know what I mean? So basically, if there is a financial need to have discount, we will give you the financial grant, regardless of where you are coming from. If your grades are good, we will give you the merit scholarship, regardless of where you come from. You know what I mean? So basically, whatever we mentioned will apply to all students if eligible. It's not about which country you are coming from. All countries are welcome.
Perfect. There was another question, I think, quite similar about the master program, but they also mentioned about getting like some sort of like assistance during their study. So you mentioned about the student ratio with the faculty. So maybe we can talk a little bit more about this. If they can get like a tutor or some sort of help during their time.
I'll answer that.
The question for the teaching assistantship.
Yes, please, thanks.
Yeah, okay. Now for master's program or PhDs, we don't have any kind of financial aid or merit scholarships. Instead, you can apply for research or teaching assistantship. These two programs, you will be chosen based on your, first of all, the evaluation of the whole application. Once you submit your application to the admissions office, we will evaluate your application. We make sure that all the documents are there, along with your reference letters, and we send it to the college. Now, the college will evaluate your application. They will give you the acceptance, and if you have applied for the assistantship, they will evaluate the application and they will consider it also for the assistantship. It's either teaching or research based on the availability and based on the need of the college. Now, once you take the assistantship, you will be working with AUS as a teacher assistant for one of the faculty in your department, and usually they got waived. They got a waiver for the courses fully or partially, and also you will be getting paid. That will help you to stay at the university and complete your master's degree. So this is how it goes. In addition, you can work as a part-timer in one of the departments, and that will be also a good chance where you can expand your job, your career in the field, and it will help you also to proceed with your master's degree.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We actually have another question for PhD. So they actually ask if is a student they have to have a thesis proposal, and if there are some criteria for admission for PhD. So basically how the application works.
Okay. How do we enroll for the PhD program if we have a thesis proposal, and what are the criteria for the admissions? Okay. Now for the I will just answer in general. I think Ms. Donna can elaborate more about this question. Now, to be able to submit an application to the PhD, you need to have your transcripts for bachelor's and master's. You need to have a GPA of 3.3 and above out of 4. Plus, you need to submit three reference letters along with the application, and you need to have GRE exam for the engineering major, the engineering systems management. Also, you need also a passport copy along with the application. And this is in general about the PhD. I will try, Ms. Donna is trying to join us. She's trying to activate her mic so she can elaborate more about the PhD. Okay.
Hi, Donald. Just let me know if you are actually managed to work with the mic. Meantime, maybe we can move on to the next question until we try to figure out how to...
She has a problem with the mic.
Let's see. Maybe in the meantime, I saw there was actually another question about the studying part-time. So while studying a Master of Science, can I work part-time?
Work where? At the university, you mean? Or
the question is just general, so probably it's like if it's feasible to work and study at the same time.
Due to the fact that all our master classes are evening from 6 to 9 p.m.
Hello?
So yes, it will be possible.
Yes.
So the answer to that question is yes, it's possible. Hello, Donna.
Hi,
Yes, Donna.
hi everyone. I
No.
think there was a problem with the mic. Can I answer this question about working while doing the masters?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Okay. Definitely, yes, the student can work, whether he would like to work outside the uni or inside the uni. So if he's taking the assistantship, definitely he will be working with the professors. And if he's working outside, it's fine, as long as he can attend the classes between 6 to 9.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We also, I don't know if Dana, you wanted to add something else on the question that was before about PhD.
Can we
Can
go
you please
back?
remind me? Can you please remind me of the question?
Yeah, the previous question.
It was about PhD. So basically, there was a candidate was asking about how do we enroll for a PhD, and if is the student that have to have a proposal for the thesis to work on.
These things, they need to check it with the college. They have to apply normally with all the required documents. And then after that, if they are admitted, the college will be contacting them to answer this question.
Perfect, thank you. I can see there was a question that was already answered, but maybe we can actually talk about these during our presentation. Is about internships. So basically, there was a candidate was asking if the internship are also with companies outside the UAE, and if so, maybe some example of companies that you collaborate with.
So basically, internship actually it's a graduation requirement. So they have to do it usually between the third and fourth year in the summer period, and the duration of the internship will depend on the major. It can be different from one major to another, and yes, it can be in international companies, and it doesn't have to be in the UAE. And the good thing here is that AUS will give you connections to these companies. I mean, international huge companies. Remember the companies I mentioned before, like Deloitte, KPMG, Chrysler, Unilever, GM, Microsoft, IBM, Oracle, you name it. We have connections to all these companies. And we have, the good thing here is that we have branches for these companies in the UAE. So for example, if you want to do it here, it's fine. If you want to do it in your home country during your summer vacation, you can do that as well. If you want to do it in a total different country, I mean, it's totally up to you. So you will be happy with the options that we will give to students.
Also, I want to elaborate on this.
Yes, please.
For the international internships, I wrote that actually, but I want just to also explain it. So we do have, as Hazem explained in the presentation, the exchange program. So you can study outside AUS for 1 year and you can come back in any university. We do have, like, you know, relationship with more than 40 universities, and they are mainly in America and North America. So if you want to go and to do your internship outside also, outside UAE, you can do that through the exchange program. And we are trying actually to push the students to do this because it will add so much to their, you know, resume before going to the green market.
Perfect, thanks. In addition to this, there were two questions that were kind of similar. One was answered, but maybe it's good to say that again. Is there an interview that the students have to pass to get admitted? And if so, what type of questions are asked in this interview?
Come again, please.
If there is some sort of interview to get admitted, and if so, how to prepare for it? I think Doa already answered, but there was another similar in the Q&A. So it's about entrance exam or interview. So if we can maybe explain.
For the bachelor degree for undergrad, definitely not. There is no interview required. I'm not sure, Donna, is there such thing for the masters and PhD?
No, we don't have, no. And we don't have also an entrance. They were asking about the entrance exam. We don't have an entrance exam for the master's or for the PhD.
Yeah. So interview is not required for all academic
years. No, we don't require that.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So basically, yes, we did cover this part. Of course, as we were saying in the presentation, if you do have specific question about your own grade or like system, because they're all different from all over the world, just write in the question. There was also another question. It was about still the option, like about leaving. It was more about if the scholarship are actually covering the cost of living, or if it's basically just money that goes to the student pocket and they can put towards the studying.
The housing fees do not include meals. So basically, the housing fees are just the housing fees. We do have a student center with different restaurants and cafes. We have a few malls very close to the university as well. They wanna, for example, go outside. And to be honest, like in Sharjah or Dubai, I mean, you can have lunch as cheap as $5 if you want to, and you can have as expensive as $500. So it's really a wide range. And the answer to that question depends on the student's lifestyle, student's budget, all these things. But they have the choice. If you want to have a cheap lunch, you can do that. You want to have an expensive lunch, you can do that. So all options are available, and the choice at the end of the day is for the student to choose.
Thank you. There was a question is about having like the backgrounds. We talk about an English test, so a proficiency test that students should take. For master's program, do they need to have a certain background to apply? For example, for a master in engineering, do they have to have a previous experience in engineering, like studying a bachelor in engineering, or not?
Yes, for sure. For all engineering applicants, they have to be coming from an engineering background, similar to the PhD. If they would like to apply for the engineering system management, also they must have the engineering background. And for the material science, PhD in material science, they must have the science background.
Perfect, thank you. And so you mentioned there is another similar question is about basically we already said that there are nationalities from all over the world, and I was just wondering, like, do you have some sort of groups where, for example, all the students from a certain countries or region maybe connect and they can you know, share, like, for example, time together, or maybe speak the same language? I think Hazim
Hazim, you are
has
mute.
the microphone is in mute, sorry.
Your mic is mute, Hazim.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. AUS does offer, as part of the academic program, all majors, whether it's business or engineering, we do have international trips where they can go abroad for around, I think, 10 days or two weeks. They do, they do some research. They meet students from other universities. They do some work which they can take credit for, and also to explore the country. So we do have such thing. I don't know if one of my colleagues want to answer that from different angle or from different point of view, but this is one of the options that will help achieving what you just mentioned, Ms. Federica. I don't know if my colleagues want to...
It is.
Yes.
I think it was very clear, and also I can see that Doa actually answered to a question. Basically, is about the fact that you don't need to speak Arabic to, to be admitted or to leave, the campus, the facilities, and probably it could be like one of the worry for people that are thinking about moving abroad and having to face a different country.
Yeah, actually, we do have this misconception that people need Arabic to, be able to study in AUS. We don't require Arabic. Everyone is speaking English, even though they're coming from different background and all. They will learn definitely about the Arabic language and the culture, of course, but it's not mandatory. English is the language that is used in the university, because of course we are also offering an American curriculum, an American diploma at the end. And there is something important. If the student, for example, most of our Chinese students, they enroll in something called the Bridge program, which is actually a program that the student can join or enroll for a semester or more. It depends on, you know, how their English will get improved, you know. So they will study only English. And then while they are studying English, they can actually apply for the English proficiency tests like IELTS, TOEFL, MSAT, linguist skill. And if they pass, then they can enroll in the major. So this is one of the options. If you feel like you want your English to be improved and at the same time you want to get used, you know, to the university environment, it's a good option for the students to join it. It's called Bridge Program or Achievement Academy Program.
Great, thank you. There was a question. Oh, please, Adim, go ahead. Sorry.
Thank you, Dua. See, this Bridge program is very beneficial because it's very special. It's very focused. It's very intense. And the professors are all native English speakers. So basically, and I'm not exaggerating, if you know zero English, you don't know English at all, probably it will take you, let's say, 1 year or 1 year and a half maximum to be very good in English. Because you know, some people, they have good academic performance, but then the language is an obstacle for them. Please don't let that win, because language, it shouldn't be an issue. And the Bridge program that we do have, it's really good. Like, even if you don't know English at all, you will become very good in English in no time, hopefully.
Thank you so much. And I can see that Doa just put the link to this program. There was a question that was in the chat earlier on. It's about the fact if at the moment you're actually running the classes like face-to-face, or if you do have like online classes as well, due to the current situation.
Yes, right now it's online classes. The fall semester, which is from September till Jan, it will be online. For the next semester, which starts in January, we are still not sure yet. We are waiting for further instructions from the Ministry of Education.
Perfect.
But if this is your last year of, if this is not your last year of high school, you have nothing to worry about, because hopefully by the time you finish high school, Corona will be gone, dead forever. I hope so. But if this is your last year of high school, most probably, by the time you join, which is September 21, I mean, we should be back. This is what we expect at least, but we cannot like confirm or guarantee. Why? Because as I mentioned, this is all up to the Ministry of Education, and the way they do it, they inform us like semester by semester, because they don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. So it's, we do it semester by semester, and hopefully soon, maybe within a month, we should know whether the second semester will be online or not.
Perfect. So you mentioned before that actually there will be the opportunity to book some sort of one-to-one appointment. So just wanted to ask what type of question they can ask, and how does it work? Do they have to fill in a form, or will they get called back by one of your team?
So basically they go to the link which Mr. Samir shared, I believe. So you can go to that link, and then you can choose a name, Hazem, Samir, or Dua. And then after you book a meeting, you will be sent a Google Meet link. Of course, you will choose the day and time. We will send you Google Meet link, and then when the time comes, we will meet. You want it to be audio, it's fine. You want it to be video, it's totally up to you. And you can answer any questions, anything you want, whether it's, admission requirements, financial aids, scholarships. If you also have concerns or questions about like how is it to live in the UAE or to be in the UAE, all of us, we've been in the UAE for so many years, so we can also help you in that. For some students, if they do have very technical questions, like they are asking about a very specific course under a specific major, we can give general guidelines and directions about that. But if they want technical details, maybe we can forward them later on to talk to a professor from the field.
Perfect, thank you so much. And I also like to remind whoever is connected that we will be sending you an email after this webinar, and we will also be sharing again the link to book your appointment, and also you will have some extra information about the courses. So we are actually answered the majority of the questions that we received, but we still have some minutes left. So just wanted to ask Azim, Samir, Doa, and Donna, if you actually have some sort of advice that you like to give to whoever is listening to us tonight, and if you like to remind maybe the deadline for application or anything that you feel is useful to remind at this point.
I have a very important advice for all of you. Choose your major wisely. Choose your major wisely. Choose your major wisely. I repeat it 3 times. It's very important to choose the right major because, you know, high school is a total different story than university. And in high school, the equation is very simple. If you are a good student, you will get good grades. If you are not a good student, you will not get a good grades. You will not get good grades. In university, it's different. You might be an excellent student, but still get, for example, low grades. Why? Because you are in the wrong major. You might be an average student in high school, but then do extremely well in university because you chose something that you really love to study. So please choose your major carefully. You can check the study plan on the website for each major. It will show you the courses under each major, and you can have a look at at a brief description for each major. For example, if you are confused between business and engineering, if you have relatives or friends that work in these 2 fields, you can go and visit them at work to see how it is, and ask yourself, am I willing to do this for the rest of my life? Maybe you can attend classes in a university in your country. You can do that, why not? And ask yourself, am I willing to study such courses for the next 4 years of my life? And again, you have to be honest with yourself. And this process is very time consuming. I mean, for some students, it takes up to 2 years to choose a major. So if you are in your last year of high school and you don't know your major yet, you are already very late. So you should start immediately. If you still have like 1 or 2 years to go, then I suggest you also start now, because this process might be time consuming. I don't know if we have other advice from Dua and Samir.
Always, okay, since we have, you know, you can book an appointment with one of, you know, the representatives in AUS, and we already shared the link with you. Do not listen to negative feedback from anyone and accordingly make your decisions. Try always to go back to the source. Ask any question that you want about the fees, about the how to apply, about the scholarship. Do not assume anything, because that will lead you, you know, to maybe you're gonna miss a very good opportunity in the university. And we are telling you all these advices because of, you know, we're meeting students on a daily basis, even online, over the phone, through the emails. They're like, somebody told me, somebody said that. No, do not do that. You can book a meeting with us. You can talk to us for hours. We can help you. We can connect you to professors. We can actually also, if you can connect us to your, you know, counselors, we can also present, you know, do some customized presentations and webinars just to talk about everything that you need to apply to AUS. Do not listen to negative feedback, and always come back to the source, which is us or anyone else in the university.
Thank you,
Yes,
Dua. I don't know
something-
if Samir, Azim, or Donna would like to add something.
Yeah, especially for the students who are asking, I don't know how to speak English, or I need some people from my country. Don't worry about it. We do have 93 clubs in the university. Around half of them are cultural clubs, where you can join your country club, and also in the club you will have students from your country. So you will be sharing the same thoughts, the same culture. Then you can also present your country in the Global Day, especially that we conduct each year during March. So this is a good chance to try to different life, you can say different community, to see different people. Since we are AUS graduates, so we hope that we can go back to study again in the university.
Some students might ask. I actually asked myself many times when I was a student. Okay, so I have to study, I have to do clubs, I have to do sports, I have to do all of these things, and I have to, you know, do social sports. How can I do all of that? If some people tell you that it's very difficult, it's not possible, don't believe them. 2 words, I have 2 words for you: time management. With time management, you can do all of this and you can do it properly.
Thank you so much. Just before leaving, we actually wanted to ask you guys, how did you find this webinar? So we've been talking a lot about all the programs and all the opportunities that you have. Do you think this webinar was useful? Of course, as we were saying, definitely you can book your one-to-one appointment, which I strongly advise you to do, because as Dua was saying, it's important for you to get your own you know, your own answers, because each of you will have a different story, a different background, different aspirations. So
Come on, guys, put 5.
well, yes, we actually have very useful. So yeah, we are very glad that you found this, that was useful. And as I said, we will be sending you a follow-up email, and any questions, please fill in the form and book your one-to-one appointment. I'd like to thank Azim, Doa, Samir, and Donna for being with us tonight, and all of you guys for being connected. It's been a great pleasure.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we look forward to seeing you soon at the next American University of Sharjah webinar, and hopefully some of you will put through the application, so they will see you soon at their campus. Thank you so much, and have a great evening, everyone.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Good luck.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.